So, what if I told you that one of the most common ways companies try to boost safety, paying a bonus for it, could actually be making their workplaces more dangerous? I know, it sounds like a complete paradox, but it's a trap a lot of well meaning organizations fall right into. Let's unpack why. It just seems totally backward, right? I mean, you reward people for not getting hurt, things should get better. Simple. But as we're about to find out, the reality is, well, it's a lot more complicated. And it reveals a really critical truth about what actually makes for a safe environment. You see this all the time in high-risk industries like oil and gas. It's pretty standard practice to link an employee's annual cash bonus to safety numbers. And the thinking behind it is simple enough. What gets measured and rewarded gets done. But here's the paradox. The research shows this very system can create these powerful incentives to hide risks, not get rid of them. It can turn a whole safety program into a system for just covering things up. Okay, so to really get why these bonus systems can fail so badly, we need a better way to think about safety in the first place. Instead of just seeing it as a set of rules, let's picture it more like a journey of maturity, almost like a ladder that an organization can climb. This model breaks it down into 5 levels. Most places start near the bottom, right? Either at pathological, which is basically just don't get caught, or reactive, where safety is something you only think about after an accident happens. A lot of companies get stuck in the middle, at calculative, kind of buried in paperwork and systems. But the real goal, the place you want to be, is climbing higher, to proactive, where you're actively hunting for risks, and then, ultimately, to generative, where safety is just so deep in the culture, it's simply how you do business. And this really gets to the heart of it. Look at the difference. At the lowest level, bad news is a threat. You bury it. You punish the person who brought it up. But at the very highest level, bad news is a gift. It's a priceless chance to learn something. The true measure of a safety culture isn't whether you have failures, because you will. It's how you respond when they happen. And to build that kind of generative culture, you've got to focus on 3 pillars. It's not just about preventing the hazards you already know about. It's also about having good systems to manage human error, which is going to happen, and organizing your work in a way that helps you see the totally unexpected things coming. A truly resilient system does all 3 of those things. So with that framework in our heads, let's get back to the bonus programs. How do they actually hold up in the real world? Well, a really detailed study of a major oil and gas company put their annual bonus system right under the microscope to find out. This quote from a frontline worker, it just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't some academic theory, it's a real everyday pressure. The fear of losing out on a bonus becomes a way more powerful motivator than the desire to report a problem. And this study wasn't just a few casual conversations. Researchers did these really in-depth interviews with 48 different employees all across the organization, from the very top execs all the way down to the people on the front lines, the ones closest to the actual hazards. And here's the first really surprising find. A staggering 85% of frontline workers either didn't understand or only vaguely understood how their safety performance actually linked to their bonus. So, think about it. If the very people you're trying to motivate don't even get the rules of the game, how effective can it possibly be? And what's more, for the handful of people who did understand it, most of them said the bonus didn't change their behavior one bit. And why not? Because they already felt this deep, professional, and ethical duty to work safely. For them, it was just the right thing to do, not something you do for a little extra cash. So this just begs the question, right? What was this bonus system actually rewarding? To answer that, we need to understand this really crucial distinction in how we measure safety, the difference between what we call leading and lagging indicators. Okay, here's the key difference. Lagging indicators are like looking in your car's rearview mirror. They count the accidents that have already happened. They're totally reactive. Leading indicators, on the other hand, are like scanning the road ahead. They measure the proactive things you're doing to prevent an accident, like the quality of your safety checks or how many near misses you're reporting and learning from. And here it is. Here's the critical flaw the study uncovered. The bonus was tied almost exclusively to those lagging indicators. So what does that mean? It means people were being paid for the absence of reported accidents. And, well, the fastest way to reduce the number of reported accidents is to just stop reporting them. So let's connect this all back to our safety ladder. Because the negative behaviors this bonus system was creating, they aren't random. They are textbook symptoms of a really immature safety culture. This table just makes the diagnosis crystal clear. Underreporting incidents, covering up how bad things were, these aren't just bad behaviors. They are the absolute hallmarks of a level 1 pathological culture. And chasing numbers without any real improvement, that's a classic sign of a calculative culture that's just stuck. Instead of helping the company climb that ladder, the bonus system was actively anchoring it to the bottom rungs. But here's the real kicker. Even with all these obvious flaws, a lot of the managers were terrified of getting rid of the safety bonus. And why? Because in their mind, just having it there, no matter how imperfect it was the only clear signal from leadership that safety mattered just as much as production or profit. Taking it away felt like telling everyone that safety was no longer a priority. So what's the answer? The goal can't just be to ditch a bad system. The real goal has to be to build something better to replace it, to actually climb that ladder and create a truly generative culture where safety is something intrinsic, not something transactional. So what are the real takeaways here? First, when you reward the absence of bad news, you pretty much guarantee you'll create a system that's brilliant at hiding bad news. Second, you just can't pay people to care. A genuine safety culture, it's built on a shared commitment, not on a financial transaction. And finally, the real prize is becoming a generative organization, where the most valuable reward isn't the cash, but the learning you get from every single failure, big or small. And that leaves us with one final question to think about, really for any organization out there. Is your system designed to produce good-looking numbers for a spreadsheet, or is it designed to create deep, honest learning that actually makes people safer? The answer to that question might be more important than you think.